Hi, I'm James Lamont, Fellow at the Vadine Center for Rural Economic Development at the University of Minnesota Crookston. Today, I wanted to talk about inflationary impact on commodities, not only as a result of the last year or two, but also given the the Russo-Ukrainian conflict. As you know, if you've gone to the supermarket as of late, global food prices are soaring. In fact, when taken as an index over the last year alone, they've increased well in excess of 20%. Some commodities have increased actually 70 or 80%, depending on where the food is sourced from, as well as how it's been produced. COVID impacts naturally impacted the way food was produced, processed, and distributed, and supply chain impacts continue to have an impact on how goods and services are moving across the globe. But in the aggregate, everything from inputs to production, to processing, to transportation, to distribution, to warehousing, as well as retail, are impacted not only by the impacts associated with COVID, but also now some of the challenges associated with inflation and subsequently conflict in Europe. Energy costs, which are a major input for agricultural commodities, have increased rather dramatically as well. Oil, for example, has increased fivefold year over year. Natural gas, almost fivefold. And then clean fuels, your sustainable aviation fuels, renewables, and or other components that feed the grid are also increasing at a rapid rate. Now we have a conflict in Europe, which is exacerbating the issue because you have one of the largest natural gas and oil producers in the world that's being impacted. And subsequently, we're seeing sanctions. They haven't quite bitten yet, but there are $20, $30 discount per barrel oil that are being sold from Russian markets. So we're starting to see the impacts come to fruition. The same applies to agricultural commodities because Russia and Ukraine are among the largest producers in the world of several commodities such as wheat. So the impacts on farming, as well as just your day-to-day issues at the store, will be pretty dramatic as well. There are other inflationary pressures that are impacting global commodity markets. For example, beyond energy costs, other inputs are increasing at a rapid rate. On the right, you'll see that fertilizer, just using an Illinois index, has tripled year over year. Land values and rent have increased dramatically as well, regardless of where you are in the nation. And used implements are trading 20% higher than their anticipated value. The Sand Hill Index, which is used to basically track costs associated with farm implements. If you were to look at it from a tractor and or combine perspective, you'll see that year over year, not only are they trading significantly higher used inputs or implements rather, but they're also above what would be anticipated value at this time. So auctions are driving costs higher. So overall, the inputs are driving margins lower for the majority of farms, but then you have these amazing price increases globally, which could also impact margins. So in the aggregate, global commodity prices will continue to increase just given the volatility, the inflation that's already moving, as well as other impacts associated with global energy prices. Thank you for joining me.